What's good, everybody? Welcome to Whole Views. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail. My name is Corey. Today, we're going to be talking about One of Them Days. Question for today's video is, how do you feel about Keke Palmer and her performances? Reason why I ask that question and make that the topic for today's video is because this movie is the Keke Palmer Show. If you don't enjoy Keke Palmer and the way that she carries herself, the way that she presents her style of comedy, her antics that you may see in her interviews, if those things aren't for you, then this film is not for you. Now, let me be clear. I do want to be upfront and say that I feel like this movie was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I had very high expectations for the movie going in. Like, I saw the marketing material and I thought this would be hilariously funny. I thought that we would get a classic akin to Friday. Now, while we didn't get a classic akin to Friday, we did get a solid film, something that I call good in my categories. And I do feel like it is in the same vein as Friday, although it doesn't reach its legendary status. There were a lot of different things that I was anticipating seeing in the movie, and I feel like the movie delivered, and a lot of the things that I were anticipating seeing actually came to fruition in a really good way. So SZA, I'm not a huge SZA fan of her music, and I did not think that she would be able to bring a suitable performance for the entirety of a film. But she did really good. I was quite pleased with her performance. I know of Joshua Neal from his skits that he used to do online. He was a social media guy when I discovered him on Twitter and Instagram and all that. He would post these elaborate skits, and I was looking forward to see what he would do on the big screen. And I was pleasantly surprised with what he ended up doing in the film. Cat Williams is always really good in the marketing material for anything, and when you see small tidbits of Cat Williams, you expecting big laughs. I kind of feel let down by the Cat Williams stuff that we got in this movie. And there are some surprise appearances that I don't want to give away here, but all those surprise appearances were really good appearances by all the people who made cameos, amongst the black stars in Hollywood. But I really like this though. I feel like it was a solid film. It's not something that you want to come back to and say, oh, we're going to do a part 2 and part 3 and all that. I think it's a really good standalone film. And Keke Palmer, like, she's hilarious to me. Like, throughout the movie, if you take her out of it and put almost anyone else in, I don't know if they can deliver a lot of the laughs that she delivers. And I feel like from watching the movie, there's not a lot of script that goes into the Keke Palmer moments. It's a lot of her and her delivery and her style. Bleeding in and making the comedy funny. And speaking of being a comedy and talking about this movie, because when I talk about films, I tend to talk about the scales and like top tier films and then like middle tier stuff and then like, straight to Netflix type movies. This one kind of falls in that middle tier, something that is very worthy of being seen on the big screen and seen with a packed house and experiencing the laughs along with everyone else. And at the same time, it accomplishes the mission that every movie should set out to do based on its genre. So if it's a scary movie, you should be frightened at some point. With this one, it's a comedy, and so you're gonna laugh throughout the movie. Now, maybe you won't laugh as hard as you expect, or maybe as much as you anticipated based on the advertisements. But for me, I went in thinking we was going to get a classic, and while I didn't have gut-busting laughs, I did find myself enjoying my experience throughout watching the movie. And so it's positive for me. Let me know your thoughts about One of Them Days if you did go see it in theaters. That's all we got for this one, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something